Hi everyone, my name's Albinauric, and today I'm here to show you a build I made called the Mycelium King. So the entire point of this build is that it relies on Scarlet Rot and Albinauric Pots. So Scarlet Rot obviously is like super duper poison. It does a lot of damage over time. I have a lot of rot grease on this character, so I put it on the Antspur Rapier. I think the Antspur Rapier does 55 Scarlet Rot buildup by default, and then when you add a drawstring rot grease, I think that adds like another 60 or 70. So it's doing like 115 rot buildup on hit. So with this character at level 80 plus 17 or plus 7 somber, it's gonna proc rot on most players in 3 or 4 hits. So it's relying heavily on the Mushroom Crown and the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, as you'll see, and I also really like the combo hit talismans, the Rotten Winged Swords Insignia and the Millicent's Prosthesis. You'll see I get some actually pretty nutty AR with it. You can tell my character was a wretch. That's why I have a 10 base in all of my stats, and then I just put all my points into Vigor and Dexterity, essentially. If I was going to rework anything on this build, I'd probably take a few points out of Vigor and a few points out of Dex and put them into Strength so that I can use the Ballista. But other than that, I mean, it's mostly relying on the Poison or the Rot and the buffs that I get from the Crown and the Talismans anyway. So you see here, with my multi-hit and the Poison, I had almost like, I think it was like 450 or so. Okay, real quick, I want to show here. If you don't have rot grease, because my character has a ton of rot grease, if you don't have rot grease, I recommend using something like Poisonous Mist on the rapier, so that way you can proc 3 status effects at once. You get the Scarlet Rot still, you get Bleed if you infuse it with a Blood Infusion, and then using Poisonous Mist also buffs it with Poison buildup, so you get 3 status buildups at once. You could also do it with Cold, but then you're only doing 2 at once. And you'll see here in my mixed physic, I have the combo hit tier on too. So I think that this hits the max level of the combo hit buff, plus the poison buff. I had over 600 AR, which at level 80 with a rapier that attacks really fast and does pierce damage, yeah, that's really strong. So like I said, the thing that I feel makes this build unique is that it uses Albinauric Pots. No one in this game uses Albinauric Pots. Everyone either uses the Winged Angel Scythe, whatever the fuck it's called, the scythe that has the Ash of War that stops you from healing, or like that's it. I rarely ever see anyone use Albinauric Pots, and that's probably because farming the Bloodclots to craft them really sucks. I think... Okay, hang on, sorry. I don't know if you heard that. I might have talked over for a second, but I heard that guy doing something on the left, and that's how I knew he was there. But anyway, so Albinauric Pots, no one uses them. They're a bitch to farm for because Albinauric Bloodclots, I think, have like a 4.5% base drop rate before you increase your item discovery, which really sucks. So that's probably part of the reason why no one uses them, but it occurred to me that if I hit someone with Poison or Scarlet Rot and then hit them with an Albinauric Pot, it's gonna run down their health and they won't be able to heal unless they cure it. And that's awesome for putting on a ton of pressure. And so you see here I also use a lot of Endure because combined with the combo hit talisman and all the rot that I apply in, per hit, I can just endure and then just stab the crap out of somebody, max out my combo hit buff, and then proc rot on them. And, like, there's nothing they can do about it. I had at least 2 people disconnect on me, Alt F4 the game, because this build is just so obnoxious. So I feel like, I'm not good at this game. I don't consider myself to be any kind of, like, above average PvPer or whatever. But, this build, I feel like, is just strong and obnoxious enough that, it's gonna get some results. So right here, I whipped this backstab. And I just want to say, I think that's bullshit. I should have gotten that backstab. You know. I should have endured before I tried to throw that Albinauric pot. Endure really is the main thing on this build. At the beginning of the video, I showed one of my Antspur Rapiers had Impaling Thrust. I ended up not using it because I'm mostly relying on Endure to proc my combo talismans and proc Rot on the bad guys. Impaling Thrust is really, really strong, especially if you had Shard of Alexander on and maybe the Spear Talisman. That would be very powerful, but I like Endure a lot. So there's the beauty of Albinauric Pots and Rot, is that guy died from the Rot because he couldn't heal. I died because I'm bad, but if I see Host Vanquished, I consider it a win. So this clip actually isn't all that great, but I thought the ending of it was kind of funny. So you'll see on my claws that I have in my offhand, I keep Golden Vow equipped because it's nice to be able to buff the mobs. You know, just giving them that extra like 11% damage or whatever it is that Golden Vow does for them. And some damage resist too. You know, really goes a long way towards messing up bad guys. So I get owned here. And you'll see I'm going to mute the clip because I was watching an Ordinary Things video and I thought nothing else was going to happen. But
suggesting that
then
the choice between consuming
the host goes and gets hit by the Black Flame Monk and dies. And so like I said, if I see Host Vanquished, that means I won. So, you know. So here, this is what my favorite kind of problem. The kind of problem that solves itself. It looks like my recording is kind of messed up there. It froze, but one of the co-op partners fell down that hole that I just jumped over. So that was an issue that solved itself. Yeah, for some reason it looks like this recording is freezing up here a bit, but I think it stops in a minute. So the co-op partner killed himself, and I'm just going after this host. He doesn't really know what to do now without his buddy to help him. Though he's really strong, because he's going to hit me with double slash a few times. It's going to do a lot of lead buildup and mess me up. I don't know if he's an arcane build or not, but that's just doing like an obscene amount of blood loss buildup for... Or maybe not. Maybe it's just doing regular amount of blood loss buildup and I just don't have any robustness. That's actually something I wanted to recommend, is you see I have the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman on to increase my physical damage resist. I might swap that out for the Stalwart Horn Charm that gives you extra robustness, so you have more bleed resist and more frost resist. That way you don't get owned by bleed, which is especially useful when you're using Endure a lot. Oh, so this is what I was talking about. This guy alt F forward. As soon as the Vulgar Militia got involved, he alt F forward because he couldn't deal with it. So in this invasion, I started running at them, but then I realized that these flies are behind me, or ants, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. So I hit them with Golden Vow just in case. They end up not getting involved. Earlier today, I had an invasion that I didn't win, but I was in the Consecrated Snowfield, and there was a bear by the entrance, or by the way gate that takes you to Mogwin Palace, and I ended up buffing it, and they ended up hitting it with a ballista bolt trying to shoot me, and it ran after the host, but I died before I could see whether or not it killed them. So here's another circumstance where having more robustness would have come in handy, because a lot of people use the Moonlight Greatsword because it's just so damn strong, and using Endure and getting hit by that, you know, by that frostbite can really fuck you up. But I ended up being fine in this clip. You should always try to free aim your Albinauric pots, or any pots that you throw. If you keep it locked onto them, it aims at chest height and makes it a lot more liable to miss. It's a lot better if you aim it at their feet or where they're going and try to hit the ground next to them so it hits some splash damage. So that was a host that was probably being carried by that Phantom, which I can tell because he has the Phantom had Malenia's helmet on, which means he was either over-leveled or had someone drop stuff for him. And so as soon as the Phantom's dead, the host doesn't know what to do. So here, this is a situation where having swapped over to Bloodhound Step on the one Rapier ended up being really useful. It would have been a real bitch to deal with that lava while this guy was doing a Jula's Moonblade at me. Again, look at that Frostbite proc. That hurts a lot. An extra 1 or 2 hits there would have been a big difference. But, you know, ended up working out for me in the end. Hit him with the Albinauric Pot. Use the Endure. Rock the Rot. And that's pretty much it. As long as he doesn't, you know, kill me before I kill him, and which he almost does here, but then the slug comes in clutch and saves my ass, so that was cool. Once his buddy's dead, the host, who doesn't know anything other than just cast Rock Sling, better cast Rock Sling, I can't cast Rock Sling anymore, I guess I'm gonna die. And that's it. I don't like to taunt too much, so I always try to do something silly. Or I use like the strength emote afterwards. I notice a lot of people who point down seem to be like noobs with overleveled Phantoms. So I don't like to do that because it's just not nice, you know? Don't point down. Be nice. It's a game. It's about having fun. But yeah, I also don't feel bad when someone points at me. I don't get mad because they're probably noobs, and I figure they're like, oh my god, I actually managed to kill somebody in multiplayer. That means I'm the best player in the world. But sure, have your fun, you know. So this one, you know, spatial awareness, good to have. Try not to jump off of things. Over here, this one is wonderful. I love this guy. This guy's doing a shield build, which is really cool, and I was really hoping to get to fight him, but see how obnoxious this build is? And then he starts, whoop, that's it. Alt F forward. He said, fuck that, I don't want to put up with this shit. So in this clip, I'm running across, this clip's actually like 5 minutes long before I actually got to the bad guy, but you see he's fighting a bird up here. And so I ran up to him, and I was going to fight him and try to lure him into the bird, but I realized he doesn't have a co-op partner with him. So I said, okay, let's go be nice about this. And so I decided to be honorable for once, and I brought him to duel me over on the entrance way where the bird can't get to him. Speaking of honor, I don't care about honor at all. You know, you see people getting mad in arena duels, whatever. Listen, if you want to go to the arena and have a duel, you know, and try to be honorable about it, that's one thing. But in an invasion, I'm here to kill people, bro. You know, it's like the dude from The Babysitter or whatever it was, that Netflix movie with the kids that are doing like a satanic ritual, and then the one dude, the jock dude, says to the kid, he's like, yeah, I'm not like the others, I'm just here to kill people. Like, that's the point of invasions. That's why I'm here. I want to kill people. So in this one, I thought I was going to do some awesome shit with the bear. I pulled out the claws because I was going to switch to Golden Vow. And so I come, and I hit the bear with Golden Vow, but he just stands against this wall for the entire invasion and doesn't do anything. So that ended up being a bit of a waste of time. But, you know, I still get the buff from Golden Vow, so... And then it ends up being helpful in the end, I'm sure. But, you know, it would have been nice if the bear was helping too, you know. I also want to point out this invasion would have been a good time to pull out Carry and Retaliation. Always keep a shield on your character that has Carry and Retaliation on it. Even if you're not good at parrying, which, by the way, parrying isn't nearly as difficult as people think it is. Like, I used to think I would never be able to parry, but then I started using Carry and Retaliation, and it's, like, relatively simple. I'm not some kind of parry god, but anyone can do it. But especially with spells, because Carry and Retaliation makes a shield in front of you for a while, and then that blocks spells that hit you. So always keep Carry and Retaliation on you. This one would have been a good situation to use it, but I didn't need it anyway, because I beat the bad guys. So if you found this interesting, maybe you want to use this build, refine it, you know, comment down below any changes that you might make, or, you know, your experiences using any kind of build like this. Consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you next time.